February 2, 1959.
A freezing blizzard rages on the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, the Dead Mountain, in Russia's Ural Mountains. Inside a hastily cut open tent, 9 experienced hikers lie dead. Not huddled together for warmth, but scattered, some in their underwear, others still dressed for a trek. Their bodies bear injuries so horrific and inexplicable, fractured skulls, missing eyes, tongues ripped out, that investigators initially struggled to believe they were caused by natural forces. What could possibly drive seasoned outdoorsmen to flee their shelter in the dead of night, into sub-zero temperatures, only to perish in such gruesome ways? And why do their injuries defy all conventional explanations? Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most baffling cold cases, the Dyatlov Pass incident. You'll learn about the ill-fated expedition, the chilling details of their final moments, and the baffling evidence that has fueled decades of speculation. This isn't just a spooky story, it's a masterclass in the limits of our understanding and the enduring power of unexplained phenomena. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of the facts and the most compelling theories, allowing you to form your own conclusions about what truly happened on that deadly mountain. The group consisted of 10 experienced hikers, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a student at the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were embarking on a challenging 14-day trek through the snowy wilderness of the northern Urals, aiming for Mount Otorten. 9 members of the group successfully reached base camp on February 12. One hiker, Yuri Yudin, turned back due to illness, unknowingly escaping a grim fate. The remaining 9, Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, Yuri Doroshenko, Ludmila Dubinina, Alexander Kolevatov, Rustam Slobodin, Georgy Krivonishenko, Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, and Semyon Zolotaryov, pressed on. They were well-equipped, skilled, and familiar with harsh winter conditions. What could have gone so catastrophically wrong on what seemed like a routine, albeit demanding, expedition? Their final, brief radio message indicated they were proceeding as planned, unaware of the terror that awaited them. The initial search for the group began after they failed to report back by their scheduled return date, a delay that would escalate from concern to a full-blown, horrifying discovery. The official investigation later concluded that the hikers died on the night of February 2. Their tent was found abandoned, partially collapsed, with their belongings still inside. Crucially, the tent fabric had been cut open from the inside. This immediately suggests they fled in a panic, not expecting to return soon. But why? What could compel them to abandon their warm shelter and supplies into a raging blizzard with temperatures plummeting to -30°C, -22°F? Their footprints, leading away from the tent, showed they were barefoot or wearing only socks, and moving in a hurry. Some footprints led downhill, towards the treeline, where 2 bodies, Doroshenko and Krivonishenko, were found in the snow, seemingly having died of hypothermia. Their hands were torn, as if they'd been desperately trying to climb trees or scrape bark. Could they have been pursued by something? Or were they hallucinating from some unknown cause? The true horror of the Dyatlov Pass incident unfolded as search parties discovered the remaining bodies. 3 more hikers, Thibault-Brignol, Zina Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin, were found along the path leading back towards the tent. Slobodin's skull was fractured, but his body was relatively intact, suggesting he may have fallen. Kolmogorova's body showed signs of severe hypothermia. Thibault-Brignol had a fatal skull fracture and was missing his eyes. The final 4 hikers, Dyatlov, Dubinina, Zolotaryov, and Kolevatov, were discovered weeks later, in a ravine about 50 meters from the treeline, buried under thick snow. This is where the injuries became truly inexplicable. Ludmila Dubinina was missing her tongue and eyes, and her skull was severely fractured. Zolotaryov had a fractured skull and missing eyes. Dyatlov had a fractured skull and his tongue was missing. The internal injuries on some victims were massive, consistent with immense blunt force trauma, yet the external skin remained largely intact. How could such devastating internal injuries occur without corresponding external damage? It's a paradox that has baffled experts for decades. The initial Soviet investigation in 1959 concluded that the hikers died due to a compelling natural force. This vague explanation was unsatisfactory, especially given the bizarre injuries. The case was closed, and details were suppressed for years, fueling rumors and conspiracy theories. Later re-examinations revealed more disturbing details. Radiation was detected on some of the hikers' clothing, leading to theories involving military testing or a secret weapon. The missing eyes and tongue of some victims suggested possible post-mortem mutilation, but the sheer brutality and specific nature of the injuries raised further questions.
Were they attacked by an unknown animal? Abducted by aliens? Caught in a secret Soviet experiment gone wrong? Or perhaps a rare, terrifying natural phenomenon?
The lack of clear evidence and the conflicting details make it incredibly difficult to pinpoint a single cause. Let's compare the most prominent theories. Some suggest an avalanche, but the tent wasn't buried, and the injuries don't match. Others point to infrasound, low-frequency sound waves that can cause panic and disorientation, potentially leading people to flee their shelter.
What do you think is the most plausible explanation based on the evidence presented so far?
The sheer number of theories surrounding Dyatlov Pass is staggering. On the more mundane side, some suggest a katabatic wind, a strong, downhill wind, could have caused panic and disorientation, leading them to flee. Others propose a rare type of avalanche, like a slough avalanche, which might not have destroyed the tent but could have dislodged snow, causing confusion and fear.
However, these don't fully account for the severe internal injuries and missing body parts.
Moving into the more speculative territory, we have the possibility of military activity. Some believe the hikers stumbled upon a secret Soviet missile test or weapons deployment, and were subsequently silenced or subjected to a directed energy weapon.
This theory gains some traction from the reported radiation on their clothing.
Then there are the extraterrestrial theories. UFO sightings were reported in the area around that time, and some believe the hikers encountered an alien craft, leading to their demise. Finally, there's the paranormal. Local indigenous legends speak of evil spirits or demons inhabiting the mountain.
Could some unknown force, spiritual or otherwise, have been responsible? Each theory has its proponents and its detractors, its supporting evidence and its glaring inconsistencies. It's a puzzle where every piece seems to fit, yet the complete picture remains elusive. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the 20th century's most enduring mysteries. We've explored the tragic expedition, the terrifying night on the mountain, and the baffling evidence. My 3 key takeaways for you are: first, the hikers fled their tent in a state of extreme panic, indicated by the cut opening and their state of undress. Second, the bizarre and severe injuries, particularly internal trauma without corresponding external damage, defy conventional explanations for accidents or attacks. Third, despite numerous investigations and theories ranging from avalanches to military cover-ups and extraterrestrial encounters, no single explanation definitively accounts for all the facts. The true cause of death for these 9 hikers remains shrouded in mystery. What aspect of the Dyatlov Pass case do you find most disturbing or intriguing? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy exploring the world's greatest mysteries, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the unexplained.